we allowed to share posts, videos, and tweets without the shared post meaning I fully agree with and am promoting the information shared? What are the rules of sharing posts, tweets, videos, or content created by others? I am sure now someone will write us a book on the new rules of posting. In light of the Kyrie Apologygate, obviously now the rules have changed and many of us didn't get the memo. If a repost of content now means you fully agree with everything in the contents of the post, your post better have a reader, listener, beware warning. We have this thing in law called opinions. Judges render them every day. But when you have an opinion that is rendered by a panel of judges, you can have the majority opinion, a concurring opinion, or even a dissenting opinion. A majority opinion, that generally means that most of the judges agree with the reasoning and the conclusions reached by the writing judge that's writing the opinion. Then you can also have a concurring opinion, and that can mean a judge or two agrees with the conclusion reached by the majority, but maybe not the reasoning or the law by which the majority opinion was reached. And then you can have what's called a dissenting opinion. That generally means the judges disagree with the reasoning or the conclusion reached by the majority or the concurring opinions. Today, many of the laws and rules that govern our social, political, historical, or even moral lives now were dissenting opinions before. Those dissenting opinions only became the majority opinion later because of people like you and me who had the courage to continue disseminating unpopular opinions and views. I, as a lawyer, for example, could use a dissenting opinions analysis to support an argument in a new set of facts to get a new opinion. Basically, this is how dissenting opinions can later become majority opinions. That's a simplified analysis, but hopefully you get my point. If the rules of sharing now means you get crucified and can lose your job or livelihood for sharing an opinion that is not the majority opinion today, then the minority opinion, i.e. the dissenting opinion on any issue, doesn't have the chance of growing, doesn't stand the chance of growing. This means that only the controlling powers and opinions of today will have the controlling power to disseminate information for tomorrow, because they will ensure no dissenting opinions or views can grow. And if you are not in the controlling seat of information dissemination, then you just might be screwed or silenced. Back in the day when the Negro people were enslaved in America, if someone would have stepped onto the slave trade selling platform and said, hey, these Negro people you're selling were once kings and queens, that person would have gotten silenced or even killed. That was an unpopular opinion in that time about the Negro people. And it was not the majority narrative that the powers to be wanted the world to know about the Negro people. Luckily, however, some people at that time had the courage not to apologize and to continue to speak on it. I thought we lived in a democracy with free speech, but maybe this definition or the definition of those terms have changed too, and I didn't get the memo. This is my word of caution to us all. If we allow this to be the new rule, we are moving away from democracy and free speech into fascism by definition. Now, fascism by definition, or fascist, is someone who supports or promotes fascism, a system of government led by a dictator who typically rules by forcefully and often violently suppressing opposition and criticism, controlling all industry of government, commerce, promoting nationalism, often racism, and often changes laws to support positions. I am not saying this is where we are at, but we need to ensure that we don't become so willing to change all the laws, crucify all the people, cause all the people to lose their jobs because they disseminate information that you might not agree with, that allow your freedom to come into question, so that you could stop the dissemination of information that you don't like or that you consider is the devil or bad. Before going to law school, I read this little book written by Robert Bolt called A Man for All Seasons. There in that book is a conversation that took place between two of the main characters that connected so deeply with me that I've kept these words with me from then even to now. And I want to share that little clippet of the dialogue with you, which is why I so believe that despite me maybe being in disagreement with an opinion, I still say that you have the right to share your opinions. In that little book, William Roper says to Sir Thomas More, "So now you give the devil the benefit of the doubt?" Sir Thomas More replied, "Yes. What would you do? Cut a great road through the law to get after the devil?" William Roper replied, "Yes, I'd cut down every law in England to do that." And then Sir Thomas More replied, "Oh, and when the last law was down and the devil turned round on you, where would you hide, Roper? The law's all been flat. This country is planted thick with laws from coast to coast. Man's law, not God's. And if you cut them down and you're just the man to do it, do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow then? Yes, I'd give the devil the benefit of the law for my own safety's sake." So going forward, we might want to have a warning embedded in all of our posts, just in case you share a video or a post that you thought was interesting, or you just wanted to share it for social discourse or criticism. And this warning could read something like this. Warning: my retweet or repost of the contents herein are not paid promotions and are not my opinions, but are the opinions of the person or entity that expressed them. I am sharing this information for social discourse and our criticism only, and does not mean that I believe or that you should believe everything in the post. I believe you as the individual reader or watcher can decipher the information that best suits your personal, business, moral, religious, non-religious, and emotional and mental beliefs. If you, as the individual reader or watcher, do not have that capacity due to age, mental or emotional instability, or inability to hold two opposing thoughts in your mind, do not read or watch the shared content, for you do not yet have the capacity to formulate an independent meaning for yourself. This is Sean Speaks, and remember, brain health is mental wealth.